Welcome to the channel. This is a place where future billionaires come to get inspired. That's you? Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Because today, we're going to be talking about Stoicism. This is not a new topic for this channel, but what we're going to be covering is a slightly more interesting one. Can Stoicism coexist with erotic surrender? The wisdom of yielding without losing yourself, he writes. I found no fault with her, except that she lacked the ability to blush. Instead, he decided to take things slow and be cautious, which makes sense if you think about it. When you're attracted to someone, it's easy to get carried away and make decisions that you might regret later. Like imagine you meet someone at a bar and you hit it off. By accepting what we can't control, we free ourselves up to focus on the things we can change. When we try to fight against the inevitable, we only cause ourselves unnecessary stress and suffering. So instead, we should learn to let go and go with the flow. That doesn't mean that we should be reckless or irresponsible. These individuals are rare, but they do exist. In fact, they can complement each other beautifully. Being stoic doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being in control of your emotions. Being stoic allows you to fully embrace the experience without losing yourself. He doesn't lose his cool when things get heated. He's present in the moment and fully engaged with his partner. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And as always, remember to be unstoppable. He trusts his partner and believes in the goodness of the experience. He's willing to take risks and step out of his comfort zone. He's open to trying new things and exploring new sensations. He's able to communicate his needs and desires effectively. He's able to listen to his partner and understand their needs and desires. He's able to compromise and find win-win solutions. He's able to forgive and forget and move forward. You can find someone who shares your values and who you can build a meaningful relationship with. It allows you to connect with your partner on a deeper level and create a bond that is unbreakable. If you're willing to be patient and persistent, it's about opening yourself up to the possibility of experiencing something new and exciting. It's about letting go of your ego and allowing yourself to be swept away in the moment. It's about trusting your partner and believing that they have your best interests at heart. It's about letting go of your fears and allowing yourself to be truly present in the moment. It takes work to make it last. It allows you to connect with we become more open to new possibilities, and we're better able to adapt to changing circumstances. Partner become more pleasure wasn't about satisfying every whim or desire. Resilient in the face of adversity and better equipped to handle whatever life throws at us. On a deeper level and create a bond that is unbreakable. It's better to be alone than in the wrong relationship, and the right relationship won't happen overnight. It takes time to find the right person. It's about letting go of the need for control and allowing yourself to surrender to the experience. Just remember, and even then, he wrote letters to his friend Lucilius. So are you ready to let go and embrace the experience? Are you ready to surrender to the moment and connect with your partner on a deeper level? Are you ready to be truly present and fully engaged in your relationship? If so, then I encourage you to embrace erotic surrender and experience the transformative power of love and connection. On the contrary, it means that we should be proactive and take advantage of the opportunities that come our way. When we accept what we can't control, we're focusing on simple pleasures and avoiding the distractions of wealth and fame. They're beautiful and charming, and you end up spending the whole night together. He believed that pleasure was the ultimate goal in life, but that didn't mean he advocated for a life of indulgence and excess. He saw it as the absence of pain and discomfort. For Epicurus, instead, his philosophy encouraged people to live a life of moderation and self-control. You might think that you're in love, but what if you made that decision when you were drunk or under the influence of lust and attraction? Well, the lessons from Stoicism and Epicureanism can help us navigate the complexities of dating and relationships in the modern world. In a culture that often glorifies instant gratification and casual flings, it can be refreshing to remember the importance of self-control and emotional resilience. We live in a day and age where people jump from one relationship to the next without taking the time to really understand themselves and what they want. They chase physical attraction and sexual gratification without considering the emotional consequences. But it's not all doom and gloom. There is hope. It's important to take a step back and evaluate your feelings before making any big decisions. Then he goes on to explain why he thinks this is a flaw, saying, if a woman can blush, she can also turn pale. Do you ignore red flags or try to convince yourself that things will get better, because that rarely happens? We can't control everything that happens in life, so we might as well learn to embrace it all. What sets Stoicism apart from other philosophies is that it doesn't just tell us to passively accept our fate. Instead, it encourages us to take action. Seneca believed that we have the power to shape our own destiny, and that we shouldn't just sit back and wait for things to happen. The sooner you recognize that a relationship isn't healthy for you, the better. It's always better to be alone than to be in a toxic or abusive relationship. And the same goes for business partnerships. Imagine you start a company with a friend and everything seems to be going well. But over time, you start to notice that they not pulling their weight, or that their values don't align with yours. You might feel conflicted because on one hand you value your friendship, but on the other hand, you know that it's not a good business move to keep working with someone who isn't a good fit. In situations like this, it's important to be honest with yourself and your partner and have an open conversation about your concerns. If you can't come to a compromise, then it might be best to go your separate ways. And it is a sign of weakness to change color out of joint, to betray what's within by showing what's within, to betray what's within by showing what's outside. So you might think, okay, so Seneca is basically saying, oh, women are weak and they shouldn't show emotions or whatever. But if you read the whole letter, you realize that he's not talking about any other emotion besides shame, specifically the shame that comes from doing something wrong. Seneca believes that people, men and women alike, should be able to control their emotions and not let them get the better of them, especially when it comes to matters of love and desire. He argues that the only way to overcome the passions that can lead us astray is to not let them control our actions or influence our decisions. You know, it's funny how the world tries to paint these pictures, right? It talks about either you do this or you do that. You can't have both in the same person. A man should be stoic and strong and silent and composed. Yet women want them to also be passionate and fun and spontaneous and emotionally expressive. Well, guess what? That's an illusion. That's a lie. You can be stoic and still maintain your inner peace while being passionately romantic. You can be stoic and never lose your cool. And at the same time, there are moments where you can explode with passion. So here's the deal. While I was reading through the letters of Seneca, something really struck me about his relationship with Lucilius. Seneca was a Roman philosopher, one of the most famous ones actually, who lived around 04 BC, 265 AD. Now, some people might say that these letters were just written to show off Seneca's intelligence. Others may claim that they were part of a secret society meant to transmit their ideologies. But whatever the reason, these letters reveal a lot about the character of the philosopher, especially his attitude towards love and relationships. In one of the letters, Seneca describes meeting a woman named Paulina, comparing her beauty to the Greek goddess of love and desire, Aphrodite. So it's interesting because he was definitely attracted to this woman, but he didn't let that cloud his judgment. When you're in a relationship, you need to be aware of the signs that it's not working out anymore. One of the key points that Stoics teach us is to accept whatever comes our way. Now this might seem like a contradiction, but it's really not. Epicurus, another famous Stoic philosopher, had a different take on this. But enough of this philosophical discussion. You lie, 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 you lie. What does all this have to do with us? There are still people out there who are looking for genuine connections, and who are willing to put in the work to make relationships last. Here's the bottom line. Stoicism and erotic surrender are not mutually exclusive concepts. But how do you practice erotic surrender? It's about letting go of your inhibitions and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. So here's what it looks like when a man successfully practices erotic surrender. He maintains his inner peace while being passionately romantic. Practicing erotic surrender takes courage, vulnerability, and trust, but the rewards are immeasurable. And with that said, thank you so much for watching.